There is a time to live and a time to die. There is one indisputable fact of life, and these words of Solomon say it best. That fact is all inhabitants of this earth will one day perish. Rich or poor, tall or short, famous or not, of every religion, all nationalities, it will happen one day. As a 17-year-old, I never would have thought that January 23rd, 2013 was going to be my expiration date. What this whole journey has taught me is that the most valuable thing a human being can have in this life is life itself. It's fragile and can easily be taken away, which is why it should never be taken for granted. But for some reason, the Lord chose to spare my life. It's something I can't fathom, but I do know that within those 15 minutes that my heart couldn't beat for itself, I experienced a kingdom not of this world. Knowing I was in the presence, literally, of the hands of God fills my heart with such wonder and emotion. The question of why my life was spared is still unknown to me. But I know I'm here for a living purpose to fulfill His amazing grace, and that purpose is still being discovered. Some people hope for their 15 minutes of fame, although my 15 minutes changed my life forever. I've written a poem that you will receive tonight, explaining what happened and the things I experienced within those 15 minutes that I died. I hope you enjoyed it, and I personally thank you for being here tonight. I know that being a father is no easy risk. A father makes a huge impact on his daughter's life. He's the first man to say, "I love you" to his daughter, and the first man to really show her what love is and what it means. I can't remember a time when my dad wasn't there for me, not only as a father, but as a best friend. And to be able to share the stage this night and this moment with him is truly irreplaceable.
You did good. You did better than I'll probably do. I'd like to just begin by thanking Steve and Lori Banzaf for the honor and the invitation to be here tonight and to share this amazing story of God's grace. And to Lindsay Welsh and her great team of the American Heart Association for all their work, not just in putting this event on, but in really making a difference in saving lives in our community. And also to Doug Myers, who put all these videos together. Tremendous job.
Maybe down.
I need to roll off script just for a second here and introduce our other family members and friends who are here this evening. Kennedy's mom, Allison, who was the first to speak those calming words of faith over her when Kennedy was tied up with the tubes in there galore in the hospital. Allison's daughter, Kennedy's sister Megan, is here all the way from Oregon, along with her friend Zach Alexander. And Megan, I still cannot believe that you became an Oregon Duck. What are you going to do? Kennedy's sister Quincy is here. She flew in from Spokane, Washington, where she's a senior at Whitworth University. Kennedy is blessed to have two of her grandmothers here tonight. Priscilla Osterhout from Williamsburg, Virginia, and Grandma Pam Babbitt and her husband Sid are here tonight. Pam, you have been a tireless and a passionate advocate for our family in this effort to discover what this genetic mutation is that has plagued our family for a long time. And you've never wavered passionately over a 25-year journey to figure out what this smoking gun has been. And we know it now. So thank you for your undying faithfulness and leading us in that quest. We really are grateful to you. Cousin Jody Knox is here. Jody is the administrator from the school that called me to tell me what was happening with Kennedy. And her son Andy is here, Kennedy's cousin. Andy's the heartthrob athletic trainer, Christian Academy. My boss, Joe Moeller, is here with Jessica Gallo, his date. Our great friend, Rick Vaughn, is here with his fiancée, Kathy Dangerson. And then I have two other special introductions, which I want to say for just a minute from now. So, what is it about our daughters that make them so special to us? I'm blessed to have 3 daughters, and I could go on and on and on about all 3 of them, but tonight I would like to tell you just a little bit more about this one, about Kennedy Fallon Cooper. As she was growing up, I was blessed to be able to coach her in softball for 4 or 5 years. And she became a really pretty good pitcher, and she loved to throw hard. And I had a lot of shin bruises to prove it too, but we had a lot of fun. Quite often she would say, "Dad, let's go play catch and catch. Let's go catch. Come on, let's go." So we would do that quite often. And 6 weeks after, actually 6 months after her cardiac arrest incident and her defibrillator surgery, when she finally was clear to start exercising again, the first thing she asked me to do with her, when she was cleared, "Dad, let's go back to the softball park and play catch." So we did, and did the requisite warm-up classes for 10 minutes or so, and then I looked at her and said, "You ready?" She goes, "I'm ready." Do you know how good it felt to see her rear back, wind up, and fire a fastball at me again? That was a glorious moment, and that was an awful lot of fun. And Kennedy is a lot of fun. She bought me a rapid-fire Nerf gun for Christmas, along with the GoPro camera. And I suppose now I'm going to have to learn how to windsurf and skydive in order to get some decent GoPro footage. Kennedy also likes watching with me what she calls man movies: Gladiator, Braveheart, Last of the Mohicans. She also watches a lot of sports with me. We watched every inning of every pitch of every game of the Arizona Wildcats' amazing run to the 2012 National Championship of the College World Series. And we were some screaming fools, we were. She is an amazing daughter. Obviously, she's also a stunning young woman. But oftentimes, she'll look at me and she'll say, "Dad, I'm the son you never had." Well said. Kennedy is also a cuddler. She's never content to stay at her own end of the couch. No, she's got to slide in right next to you, and then usually sprawl. Right, Megan? Right, Quincy? Now they know about Kennedy's sprawl. Kennedy is also full of love. Every message I get from her, without fail, always ends with, "I love you." Every one of them. She's in church with me every Sunday, and we stand next to each other and we sing the praise and worship songs and the hymns. And then quite often as we drive home, we talk about the sermon. Most mornings, before I leave for work, I stand in the doorway to her bedroom while she's still asleep, cuddle up with the dog on one side and the cat on the other side. And I just say a prayer over her before I leave the house. And I thank God for the way He made her, for her personality, for her vivaciousness, for her sense of humor, for her skills, for the voice that He's given her to sing. I ask God that He would continue to watch over her and protect her and help her to continue to grow and thrive. But mostly, I thank God for her life. A life that was spared and saved because 2 teachers knew CPR, and they were in exactly the right place at the right time. And that brings me to my other 2 introductions this evening. Chris Henderson and Brian Graham, would you please stand so we can honor you with our tribute? Chris is here with his wife, Andrea, and Brian is here with his wife, Amy. You know, a month after Kennedy's incident, I was telling a friend about what had happened, and he had heard about it, but was asking me a lot of questions about it, so I kind of went through the incident again. and told him what Chris and Brian had done. And without batting an eye, he said, you know, there's a verse that describes exactly what that moment was all about. And reminded me of this verse that says, for we have been created by God to do good works, which he has prepared for us in advance. We've been created by God to do good works, which he's prepared for us in advance. And he says that verse explains it. He appointed Chris Henderson and Brian Grant to do a good work in advance. They were prepared in advance to save Kennedy's life. You want to know the cool thing? You know who it was that told me that? Andy Lopez. Andy Lopez. So how do I say thank you to the two men who saved our daughter's life? What could I possibly do to ever pay them back? Frankly, it's impossible to pay somebody back when they save your daughter's life. Impossible. But the good news is, although you can't pay it back, it is possible to pay it forward. Kennedy and I were certified recently in CPR, so that one day, the moment arises and the challenge is laid at our feet, that we might be able to pay it forward and hopefully save somebody else's life, just as Brian and Chris saved Kennedy's life. And I want to ask tonight that each of you would also pay it forward. And there are several ways that you can do that. I want you to be prepared to do a good work in somebody else's life. First of all, the first way is to make a commitment to learn CPR. So if that moment should present itself in your life on behalf of somebody who has a need, you'd be equipped to do that good work in advance. Please make that commitment to learn CPR. Wrapping up here, I'd like to share one other verse out of the Old Testament that's come to mean a lot to our family. It's very fitting for Kennedy. It's very fitting for our family. And it's really fitting for all of us in this room tonight. And it simply says that, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you a future and a hope. Kennedy is alive, and she has that future and that hope because of what these two men were prepared in advance to do. The CPR training that Brian and Chris had was made available to them because years ago, the American Heart Association invested in that groundbreaking research. They didn't stop. They continued to update that training year after year after year, and they continued with a lot of CPR research to make sure that the best possible outcomes are available to people like Kennedy, to Howard, to anybody who might need that CPR training. And she wouldn't be standing here tonight, I must say, without the endless effort through the generations of the American Heart Association. And while lots of advancements have been made, many by people sitting in this room in our fine medical institutions, there still is a long way to go. Because as we learned tonight, 48% of us sitting in this room in our community will be directly, personally impacted by heart disease. So we've got a lot of work to do. Here's the second thing you can do. First, make a commitment to learn CPR. The second thing is, I would like to ask each of you and to invite each of you to open up that heart of gold and to make a generous gift. I'd like for you to think about the people that are nearest and dearest to you in your life. And what would you do? What would you give to have more time with them? To give them more time with you. It would be a good investment to extend your own days, to extend somebody else's days. And I want to promise you that every dollar, every gift you make does make a difference. We've seen that with this life. Your gift will help save lives. It will give you more time with a family member. It might give a family member more time with you. So please help provide that future and that hope to somebody else. And please give generously. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we're all here tonight. You see their love. And you see why you're here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is an opportunity for you all to give tonight at a level that is meaningful for you.
So Jeff,
We're
you're
going to
just
ask for donations. We're going to start high, and we're going to work our way down. But we're going to make sure everyone has an opportunity to give to a family just like this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, more importantly, gentlemen, fathers, grandfathers, uncles that are out there, put your feet in this man's shoes. What he experienced when he received that phone call. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Lee family has put before us a $25,000 matching funds challenge. I want to ask right now to see if there is any supporter out there that would like to match that gift right now to double your donation. Is there a donor right now that would like to give $25,000?
You might want to give them a start down.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know 25,000 can be a lot. But what we're going to do is I'm going to do this. We have that on the table. If we can raise that 25, we are going to double it. So I want to ask for our next thing. Is there anyone out there that can give us $15,000 to help the American Heart Association to solve this problem, to cure this disease, to make more lives like this happen? $15,000 is halfway to our match. We have many donors right now that can do this. $15,000. All you need to do is raise the big panel, and we'll start working towards that. 15,000, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do that. We'll help families like the Coopers. We'll help little Addie. 15,000. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I could be asking for 15 million. I have a donor right up front that's going to give us $15,000 to contribute to that meal to make our own deposit. Bid number 315. That is huge. Is there any other donor out there right now that can give us $15,000 and we will make that match happen right now? 15,000. Let's do this. I'd love to see a donor right now to give $10,000 to let us complete that match right now and raise $50,000 for the donors out there right now. $10,000 to do that. 10,000 can and will do that. Now you heard Abby's story. Think of tonight, the children that are being born tonight. Think of the Valentine's babies that we're going to have that are born tonight. 1 in 100 of them will be going into surgery tomorrow, just like Abby did. 1 in 100. $10,000 is going to help us solve that. It's going to help us find the cure for degenerative heart defects. Any other donors at $10,000 right now tonight? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do this. Let's go to our next number. 5,000. Now listen to this. You have one of the best cardiovascular hospitals in the entire nation in your own backyard. The Tucson Medical Center. Top 50 right here in Tucson. Now, ladies and gentlemen, because of your gifts tonight, we're going to continue to keep that research, keep that world-class care at the TMC or at the Oro Valley Hospital, where they took you and saved your life. So, any donors right now that can give us $5,000, we have $15,000 already pledged. I would need 2 donors right now at the $5,000 level to give right now to complete that match. There has to be someone out there that can do that right now to give to these hospitals that are in our backyard. $5,000, ladies and gentlemen. You know what goes. You know what it does. Is that a donor in the back? 5,000. Just raise that card and we can do that. We have $10,000 left in our matching funds right now. 5,000. 5,000. Think of that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 2,500 would be our next level, a $2,500 gift. Sir, would you like to pledge 2,500 tonight? Is that a $2,500 gift? Yes, it is. The 238 right there. Give them a big round of applause. Leave another donor right up in front. 288 gives 2,500, and their dollars have been doubled. Folks, are there any other donors? We need two more right now to complete that challenge at $2,500. 2,500 folks. 2,500 to help support the research to bring a drug like TBA into the forefront. Look at that, 132 gives 2,500. Thank you so much. Very kind. One more, ladies and gentlemen. We are there. We have met our challenge. But think about this: the TPA drug, when administered within 3 hours of a stroke, greatly increases and decreases the recovery time of a stroke patient. The drug-eluting stent that is just coming out. The old stents used to cause clots all the time that without medication may cause another heart attack very soon after that stent was put in. But you know what? With your dollars that we're raising tonight, 25 years ago, there was a doctor that was given seed money. He was given a grant to create this stent, to create this development. Now, with the stents that we're putting in, no more drugs are need to be used. It virtually eliminated the clots because dollars from you donors tonight have helped with that research. Do I have one more donor to complete our match tonight for $2,500? $2,500 is what we're asking. I need one more donor at that level. We can do it. 2,500. Now let's raise $50. All right, let's do this. We're going to go to our next level. And this is a level I need 3 donors at. This is the $1,000 level. Now you hear, this is why. We have a donor right there, 163. There's one donor for 1,000. Gives 334. Gives $1,000. 309 gives 1,000. 326 gives 1,000. 216 gives 1,000. And 320 gives 1,000. We have done it. We have met that match. But let's keep giving. 246 gives 1,000. 251 gives 1,000. 345 gives 1,000. 246. Thank you for your gift tonight. Are there any other donors out there? 312. Look at him standing up proud and raising that big card for $1,000. You've done it, folks. Let's do the math real quick. We have another one. Wait. 112 gives 1,000 right there. Thank you so much. 176 stands proud. Thank you, Miss. For that kind donation. 176. So many of the donors that want to give to your why. Now you might be asking me, Bobby, why are you here tonight? Why am I here helping the American Heart Association? Is because 10 years ago, my grandfather was taken. He's lived with diabetes, and he survived many heart surgeries, but the last one took him. He never got to meet his great grandchild, my son. He was born a few years later. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I'm here. I'm here to help tonight to raise money so that I can live a long life. And I can enjoy my 2 sons that I have, see my grandchildren, and maybe meet my great-grandson one day. This is why. Miss, what is your why? Sir, what is your why? Ladies and gentlemen, why are you here? You're here to support. Do I have any other donors at the $1,000 level that can help you to give to your why? Your why, 1,000. This will be the last call, 1,000. Donor, $1,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go down on the floor. I have to shake a couple hands. Now you've heard the story of these amazing gentlemen. If they didn't know CPR, she would not be here right now. I'm coming at you guys. CPR saves a life. Saves a life. So ladies and gentlemen, our next giving level is at $500. Is what it's going to do is it's going to help us educate all of us. It's going to educate all of Tucson. It's going to educate all of Arizona. So for a $500 gift, that gift of life, let's do this. Let's raise those bid cards at $500 to do that. We have a donor right there. 190 gives $500. 356 gives $500. 153 is going to give $500 tonight. 328 gives the gift of life. 301 gives $500. Who else am I missing? We got some over there. 141 is going to give $500. 365 gives $500 to know that 365 days of the year, people are going to be saved. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not raising your big cards, I would love for you to show your appreciation. 110 gives $500 tonight. 359. That is huge. So, as you're standing there in support of the American Heart Association, think about this. For $250, this room, this family that's together, the change that will be made. Thank you so much for joining me in this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to give to that $250 level, please go over to the phone just in your room. $250 is all. So let's raise those big cards, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you signal for that. We have a donor right there. 369 stands proud at $250. 245 stands proud at $350. 310 1662 286 gives 369. 289 gives 250. Keep them in the air. I want to call them all up. 191 gives. Right there, miss, what's that number? It is 114. Let's give that round of applause. If you're standing, keep that round of applause going. 340. Thank you. 374. 201. 148 gives right there. Who we got a big table in the back? 178 gives 250. 108 gives 250. And 201 gives 250. Thank you so much. 264 gives $250. Gentlemen, thank you for your support tonight. Who did I miss over here? Anybody else at 250? 353 gives $250. 122. Thank you, ma'am. Right there gives it again. And this is great, gentlemen, over here. 181. Did I miss anybody at the $250 level? 361 gives us $250. 342 gives $250. 162 gives $250. My Tucson. Did you see what happened? Did you see the change that was made right here? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more. 198 gives 250. Thank you, sir. Big round of applause there. Tucson, you're taking care of your own. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is our final giving level. This is the last chance we're going to ask for you to support financially. You've heard the story. Dana received the call, and he said, "Oh no, not again." It happened to him twice. Oh no, not again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for a $100 donation, what we're going to do is we're going to eradicate this word from families like Dana's, families like Alex's. Little Annie can have another future. So, ladies and gentlemen, the $100 level, we're going to change "Oh no, not again" to "Oh yes, we can." Tucson, are you with me? Say "Oh yes, we can." Oh yes, we can. Oh yes, we can. Now, ladies and gentlemen, raise that bid card for $100. So let's get it. All this is the last giving level tonight. 950 gives $100. 169 gives another $100 right there. Anybody else? $100. Please raise those bid cards, folks. It's just $100 to make huge change. Here's a great side of the room. 233 is going to give 100. 305 is going to give 100. 117. Let's keep that round of applause going. 283 gives 100. 281 gives 100. 134 graciously gives 100. Anybody else out there? 124 is going to give 100 right there. And 373. Look, there's cards going all up. 169 is given again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've already given at a higher level, you know that $100 is going to make a difference. 113 right there. 255 is going to give 262. Is there anyone else for the $100 donation level? This is the last chance to give, ladies and gentlemen. Tucson American Heart Association. We have another donor right there. 294. This is the last chance to give. Way back there, 177. I do not want to miss your gift of life. Tucson, give yourselves a big round of applause. You've done it! You have helped this great association save lives tonight. You have truly done it. You have done it. Ladies and gentlemen, again, my name is Monty. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to have been up here to help you give tonight. Tucson, give yourself one big last round of applause. Thank you so much, Tucson.
Podium.
Good evening.